The thing is that people have to understand how do we become who we are? And a lot of things that you go through get trapped in a place called the subconscious. There's different levels to this. You have the super conscious, you have the conscious. You want to write things down? Y'all want to be my artist? Sure. you have he says, sure. And then I'm gonna connect it to you biblically so y'all can understand, right? So you have let's draw this box, right? And if you don't know, I do a lot of drawing. Do I gotta get closer?
It's 3 of them. How many of them?
It's 2. Okay, so this is gonna help you guys unlock this area of where you feel like I'm constantly in this same pattern and I don't know how to change. I don't know why the way I am. And a lot of it comes from domestication too. Marcus, earlier you were talking about your child and how you taught your daughter the things that she knows now. So as she moves forward and she finally dates somebody, I know you like date who, right? But once she gets once she gets married and dates somebody, she's gonna understand the things that her father taught her. This is why a lot of women that has daddy issues or that dad wasn't in the picture or dad treated mom wrong, they end up dating the same exact man. And they're like, my dad was like this, my dad wasn't there. And then you ask them, who are you dating now? And it's a toxic relationship, right? That's domestication. Now, you have your conscious, and then you have your subconscious, okay?
That's good.
I have doctor's handwriting, guys. So now when you have your subconscious, right, this is every thought you had, every action you had, every experience, every conversation, even this right now will be stored in your subconscious. Now you have to understand when it comes to your memories.
Because
all right. When it comes, y'all pay attention because it's gonna move real fast. So put a 1 down if y'all understand it. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Put a 2. I know you're not getting it yet.
TikTok.
I'll put it 2.
TikTok. I hope y'all good. All right. So in your subconscious again, every experience, every thought, every conversation, every single thing comes in here, and it's a memory. Now, for a memory to be stored, first of all, you have to understand that your brain does not have the capacity to take a full memory. If I ask you guys, hey, Drake, tell me exactly what you went through yesterday, from morning to night, tell me minute by minute, there's no way you can do that, correct? Right. Sure. So your mind can only take 30 seconds of that memory. Now, when it takes a memory, every experience has to have an emotion that's evoked to it. That's why today you're like, man, I messed up. I did X, Y, and Z because she provoked me, right? There was an emotion that caught up to that experience. That's why that was stored, right? Then you started to talk about, because you know I listen, I pick up on everything. You started to talk about the past, right? The past you. There was a part of me. How do you remember that? With that specific memory, right? So every time you have an experience and then you have that experience that connects to an emotion, it gets stored in the subconscious, right? Now, your brain, this is 90% of the mind.
Yes.
Now, when you have your conscious mind, this is every decision you make. This guy here. So now, your conscious mind, right? That's every decision you make. You decided to come here today, decision. You decided to eat that Skittles. I probably pursued you. But it was a decision. Every decision you make, it comes from the place of the subconscious. Now, your subconscious is 10% of the brain, right? Your conscious. Sorry, did I say something?
You're in the subconscious right now.
Yeah, no, I'm in the...
You're in the vein.
Listen. So your conscious is 10%. Now, let me tell you the part of your brain that it actually uses. Not this 90%, only this 10%. Everybody's catching on?
Yes.
Wow.
Only the decisions. So every time you have to make a decision, every time you're in a conversation, guess where it's going to get what it needs for this 10% from this 90%, right? Now, let's think about like this. In the past, you've had trauma. God probably allowed you to go through something, and he wanted you to look at it from a certain perspective, but you took it into a negative perspective. The moment that you had that experience and had that emotion, it got stored here. So every time you make a decision, despite you now being a man of God, unless you went back here and cleared it and got the right perspective, every decision you're making is somewhat in error.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
In error, right? Now you understand why I would say you need to go back and heal. Because even the Bible says good weeds will grow with bad weeds. Why? Because it's getting stored here. So the moment that now I'm walking with Christ and I hear the Lord, and all that is getting stored here, but you never took the time to go back to revise and reframe the things from the past. So every time you make a decision, I think God said, not knowing that it wasn't God because it's in a place of error. So your tree is corrupt.
Yeah,
so
you're
teaching. You are teaching. You'll know that person by their fruit. It's not talking about their character. It's talking about how are they benefiting something. And this is what Papa Lo taught me. Thank you, Papa Lo, he's still on here. Is how are you benefiting someone? Now, if you out there thinking you benefiting everybody, I'm out here saving souls, I'm out here healing and delivering, yet you never did the work to go and clear. Are you really bearing all good fruit? Because you still got the seeds of the past that you never went out and cleared. So that tree is still bearing those fruits from the past that you've never cleared out. So are you truly out there bearing fruit that God can use? Because your tree has rotten fruits and good fruit. That's why he said he will burn those branches. So when we're over here pointing at people, check yourself. Now let me even bring it biblically. Because y'all gonna say
at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Y'all still flowing? Y'all still got this? Because this is the part that's gonna move fast. All right. So now look at this. Let's put this tree. What tree did the Lord tell Adam and Eve not to go to?
Let's go.
The tree of, come on, people.
The knowledge of good and evil.
Okay. Good and evil. Don't that sound like a decision?
Hey, yo,
I hang
up right now. You acting like
I'm not done yet.
I'll
I'm
exit.
I'm about to leave. Where the exit button at?
Top
this is why
right-hand corner.
This is the spirit of delete. Give
Nah,
me
this
this
is good. The green right.
You are your father's daughter.
Watch this. Now, remember, this is the garden. God said, do whatever you want in this entire garden. I want you to utilize the entire garden. Just don't go eat at this one tree of of knowledge of good and evil, right? So God wanted us to be able to use our subconscious and our conscious. He wanted us to be able to operate on 100%. Right now in life, you can only use one hemisphere at a time. And even in that one hemisphere, you're not using the whole thing. That was never the intention of God. He wanted us to be able to do it all. The moment that Adam and Eve ate from the 10%, and now let's even take it here. Yep. When God tells you to tithe your first fruit, he says tithe. God says tithe the first 10%. Tithe this first decision that you're making, because more than likely it's in a place of error. Give this 10% to me so that I can now give you.
Let it die.
Give me this 10%.
Put it back here.
Because I know you as my child. You have not did the work. So tithe. Give this to me. Give me your first fruits from this tree that I told you not to eat from.
CC, my question is, why you gonna wait till we say the little stuff we gotta say to come kick our little house over?
This is how it's gonna happen. She gotta wait till that. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm gonna hey Dre, I'm gonna just tuck mine in.
Right. I'm gonna listen. I don't even take these off.
Just tuck mine in. Debo coming.